So now the time has come to close this conference. I have a long speech which was prepared for me by my team. But I would like to say to you some very simple things. First of all, personally, I enjoyed a lot being part of this conference. I hope it was the same for you. But I felt this sense of community that we have in the GA sector, and that we are all working together in order to have a better situation. And I wanted to thank you for this, because as it was mentioned by both Philippe and Patrick, when we started, it was not the same kind of ambience. I think we are all willing to go in the right direction. We may disagree, but that's life from time to time, but we are all striving to go forward. And I think, I hope that you all felt in the audience this willingness to go forward. And that's, I think, very, very important. The second topic, which is equally important for me, and we heard it from the Minister Hofer. Just for the anecdote, when I met with him just before the conference, he told me, I'm sorry, but I just can't spend 30 minutes with you. And he ended up spending 2 hours with us, which shows what we saw throughout the conference, the amount of passion that all of us, we share for aviation and for general aviation. And that makes me feel good, that makes you feel good, I hope. And it shows also the level of commitment, dedication that we all have in order to make progress. And I wanted to mention that for me, in the EASA business, it's the only domain where we have so much passion in the audience, in the stakeholder community, and I wanted to recognize that. We reviewed the progress made so far on the GA roadmap. Ian, what is your take? We did enough or not enough?
I think you've done pretty well. You do a little bit better. I think EASA has achieved some really good things, and I think things like CS stand for me are really outstanding, but clearly I wouldn't be doing my job correctly if I didn't also think you could do a little bit better.
Yes. I didn't expect anything else from you, I have to say. I think we did a lot. We can always do better, for sure. And it's very important. When I say we, it's all of us. Because we showed to you in the first panel that it's not only EASA, it's also all the persons, the organizations which are involved in the rulemaking activities, in the steering of the activity, which are working together. So it's not us, Ian, but it's also you, I have to say. Huh? So you could do better as well. So we saw that we have done a couple of things. There is still work to be done. I kind of like the notion of the GA roadmap 2.0 is to finish roadmap 1.0. You know, that's quite a cool objective for us. But clearly we have to finish what we have started. It's in, I think it's in the final stage. And on part-time light, on all those things, let's make sure that it is adopted at the legislative process in the coming months. But what is more important, and it was mentioned, I don't remember exactly by whom yesterday, it has to reach the end user. And that's where I think we can still make progress, all of us. It's not sufficient that we adopt a legislation in Brussels. It has to have an effect on the end user, on all of us. And that's where I think we are still a bit weak. How can we, inform, train, if necessary, the end users, the pilots, the maintenance companies, the training organizations of the changes, which are good changes, that are coming around. And this is going to be one of our major challenges, I think, for the future, how to reach out to the community, and you can help us. We can use a lot the social media, we can use the websites, everything to reach out, but we also need you to help us in reaching out to the community. We talked a lot about new technologies, electrical aircraft. There are still things to be fixed. We discussed in particular about the safety of lithium-ion batteries, which is still a question mark for a lot of us. So, but definitely this is an area where we see a lot of potential, and including, as you mentioned, Patrick, the ability to be less noisy around airports, which I think will help tremendously the GA activities. So we are committed to continue to work on it, continue to try to make progress in adapting our certification constraints, methodology to this new type of activities and technologies. We gave you the example of the special conditions for eVTOL that we published couple of months ago, no? Yeah, a couple of months ago, which are open for comments and which enable us to start to explain how we plan to certify those new types of technologies. So we are trying to adapt ourselves also to this. And I said that when I started the panel, I was very interested in also the modern aircraft which are being built on more conventional technologies. And I think we can still make a lot of progress. We learned, by the way, that the average age of the current GA fleet is 47 years old. 47 years old. And that's at the same time something positive, which means that all those aircraft are very robust and reliable, but it's also, let's be clear, not necessarily a good step in the path of introduction of new technologies. So, and I think it was Bruno from Pilatus saying, we need to try to implement new ways of facilitating retrofitting of aircraft, and I think that's definitely an area where we need to look into possibilities. Sharing the airspace, we will need to integrate all kinds of users in the airspace. The elephant in the room is the drone community, and I think we all agree with Mark and the statement made by the representative of Trafi, that if the GA community we are not cautious enough, given the appetite of the public for drones, they may become the owners of our airspace. And that's something that we need to be very careful about. We can share the airspace, we should share the airspace, and that means that in terms of safety, we will need to develop the tools which enable all of us to be able to share this airspace. And this is not completely trivial. The rules of today are not enough for the future, for the airspace management. I think that's very clear. I tell you again, I'm convinced that the future of air traffic management, will come from the implementation of digital technologies to ATM. And through this, we will enable communication from vehicle to vehicle, vehicle to the ground, and this will enable to have a much better situation awareness for everyone, all the users of the airspace. We talked a bit about access to data. And I think, indeed, that's something which we are missing a bit in our field. Aviation has always been able to make progress in terms of safety through learning from our own mistakes. And in the field of GA, that's an item where I think we can make progress. And we heard the colleagues from sharing platforms that they are sharing their data with us, with the regulators. I think it's good. I think we can do better, possibly, in terms of sharing of safety information in order to increase our level of safety. And you will see we would like to propose some actions on this. And finally, we spoke about the future with very clear views on what needs to be done. I think we have still a lot of things to do in order to make progress, to continue to make progress. It's quite fascinating to see the pace at which technology is evolving these days. And I'm pretty sure that we will learn a lot from drones, from other sectors, the telecom sector, for instance, automotive sectors. We will learn a lot from them. By the way, I'm not sure, we talked about automation. I'm not sure that automation is necessary for GA, because if we fly, it's because we like to fly. I'm not sure that we would take much pleasure in, pushing a button and then taking off and landing. Maybe, yes, the landscape is nice from above, but so automation, yes, of some tasks in order to decrease the workload of the pilots, yes. But automation for commercial transport, for urban mobility, yes. But maybe not for general aviation. But we can certainly organize another conference on automation. So, to conclude, at the end of the Rome conference, we had how many commitments? 6. So I was asked many times, are you going to come up with commitments for EASA this time? And the answer is yes. I'm going to show to you our commitments. And there is no priority. That's what we propose to you. First commitment, EASA to maintain general aviation high on its list of priorities and report back on progress on a 4-year cycle. I would be more in favor of a 6-year cycle because my mandate is just 5 years. So, but maybe 4 years is enough. EASA to create a general aviation safety promotion platform. That's what I mentioned to you. Safety promotion, and it was mentioned by Elizabeth, I think, is a key to inform the community, and we propose to you that we are going to create a safety promotion platform. EASA to establish a policy on the net safety benefit approach and to amplify flexibility enabling the introduction of new technology. We will rephrase it. But basically what we are committed to do is to build flexibility in our system, both rulemaking and certification, in order to allow for the introduction of technology which increases the level of safety. Okay? And we had a discussion on this, possibly facilitating the implementation of non-certified technology on board the aircraft if it increases the level of safety. So this is another commitment that we take. Next slide. Same for new business models. I think we showed that we were willing. I'm getting scared because a lot of people are taking pictures, so that means that we cannot modify the commitments later on. Okay. We may modify the wording, but the commitments are there. EASA to use the opportunity offered by the new basic regulation to simplify Part 21 requirements for the design and production of GA. This is even a legal obligation, so I think that's kind of obvious. And finally, that's the final one, I think. EASA to coordinate the development of innovative technical solutions for sharing the aeronautical and flight data in real time among all stakeholders. This is ADSB, conspicuity, and these kind of things. We want to be technology neutral. We want to facilitate the exchange of data in order to have a better sharing of airspace. Is that it, or yes? I hope that satisfies you. Yes or no? Yes? Ian? Yes. Yes, thank you. Let me just finish by thanking Elisabeth once again for being our gracious host and your team. So maybe we can give a round of applause. And I would like also maybe to pay tribute to the EASA team, which worked very hard in order to make this conference a success. In particular, Emily, Astrid, and Carmen, they are all here, I think. But I would like, if I may, all the EASA colleagues to join me on stage here. That's where we see that half of the audience is EASA. Yeah, that's normal. No. Easy. Jirki, you can join us if you want.
Somebody's checked the stage.
Don't make it. So, this is the commitment of this team, and there are quite a few others, to make general aviation, what should I say? Safer and affordable. That's the motto that we propose for the Roadmap 2.0. General aviation. So nobody agrees here, so what should I say? So, safer and attractive, affordable or cheaper. You choose, okay? Safer, cheaper, yeah? Thank you. And have a safe trip home. Thank you very much for joining us here.
Patrick, thank you very much, and thank you very much once again. Thank you very much for bringing this great conference to Vienna. We have all enjoyed it, I think. We have all seen very, very interesting discussions. From my side, thank you to your team, and especially many thanks to my colleagues who have made it from our side possible, especially Karin Puleo and Peter Joschke and Andreas Winkler from Austro Control. Thank you very much for that, and have a safe trip home, or hopefully you will come back to Vienna or have some nice hours here in Vienna. Thank you for that. Bye.